All right, it's Ryan Whinery, 7th grade science, and we're doing a reflective conversation. How do you think today went?
I thought it went pretty well.
What went well?
Well, they're excited about the project. I don't know exactly if the instruction was as smooth as it could be, but I can tell usually throughout the day my instruction gets better.
Because it was first period.
Because it was first period. But, third period and sixth period and seventh period and eighth period all benefit from the ones before them, I know for a fact. So I guess I could work on bringing up first period's presentation a little bit more.
Okay, so the first was kind of rough just because it was your first and their first?
I'm new to Google Slides as well.
Okay. All right, so when you envisioned this lesson, what were you anticipating? What do you think were going to be the successes?
I expected some hiccups along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my expectations were, I guess my expectations weren't met in the sense of, I had something in my head where I was thinking a little bit more advanced that they would know automatically that each cell organelle needed its own slide, whereas, they kind of at first grouped it into the same slide, so I had to go through, and that created a hiccup a little bit, having to go back and smooth that out.
Okay.
So third period will benefit in the fact that it's already known that they will have, one slide for each cell organelle or 1 to 2 slides for each cell organelle.
Okay.
I think my expectation was to fill the class in terms of, have them working on it throughout the entire class, and they did that up to the bell.
Yeah.
So
they did seem to really be working on that.
Yeah.
All right. So, anticipating the hiccups, they knew you gave them a choice. First of all, you gave them a choice between a bulletin board and
Correct.
a PowerPoint, and I think they're familiar with the idea of a bulletin board.
Right.
And they were thinking it was going to be the same thing on a PowerPoint, which is why they were doing the one slide.
Correct.
Would you kind of agree with that?
I would agree with that too. And then what threw me off is that they also, none of them chose to do the bulletin board.
Right. No, they didn't. Why do you think that?
I think that it was too familiar. Like, they feel like they've already done that already within their journal. And so my presentation of really what truly the bulletin board was maybe didn't truly represent what I was looking for.
So, what do you want to do in the future with that situation?
I think I want to put up more examples.
Of what?
Just even like going to Google Images and seeing what other people did, and then having pictures put up that they could visually see what they needed to do.
Okay.
Rather than just hear it from my voice. And then the example that I used, using one of the students' ISNs to say, this is where you can go for the information. I think they associate it too closely to the ISN, and they just wanted to do something a little bit more different.
Yeah. Apply it a little bit. All right, so given a lot of examples for your kids, have you thought about using the presentations that your first period did?
Yeah, I think
as your examples?
I have, but at the same time, I remember, I'm reflecting back when I was a student, I was kind of shy about my work. Mm-hmm. So I think if I asked the right students that weren't as shy as me, maybe they'd be more apt to say yes. I don't want to just throw the students' work out there. Like, even on the good work walls that I have up, the tremendous work and the look at me board is, I ask them first if I can put it up there before I even do it.
Being respectful of their time and their work, I guess.
And somewhat their privacy, kind of,
So, with Google Slides, what are you thinking for examples to give them? Are you talking about just the system of Google Slides? Or are you talking about how to insert picture? What are you thinking?
Well, I think if I would have done my own presentation, I could have given them a presentation and they could have had an idea.
Did you ever give a presentation?
Of the Google Slides?
No, just in general of...
I've given presentations before with slideshows.
Okay.
But I think if it was more specific to what we were doing with the Google Slides itself, like actually go through myself and do what I'm asking them to do with the project, then I think that they could have had a little bit more basis for what the expectations were rather than just hear it from me.
Okay.
I think some of them that have done the Google Slides kind of knew what the expectation was. Between them doing it before and the auditory kind of thing, but then I feel like the ones that weren't as up to date with it could have used a visual aid to actually, push them through to what I want.
Okay, so having that example of them and showing them kind of like what you're expecting and how to get there. I
Right,
guess?
and not even a whole presentation, just maybe
Sure.
3 or 4 slides.
Okay.
A couple examples of each. Not all organelles, but maybe one.
And
or
so
two
that's up
organelles.
front, right? That's going to be up front. You're up front.
Like at the
Before
beginning of the class.
the
Yeah.
beginning
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
yeah,
class.
yeah, not in the middle.
All right. So what are you looking back through how you were facilitating this? What was something that came up that you weren't really expecting to come up?
Well, one was I didn't expect them all to not want to do the bulletin board. That was a big
Yeah.
one.
Incorporating that technology.
I guess I was really actually surprised about how the ones that knew it really knew it. Like there was like a big gap. It's not like they knew some and the other ones knew very little.
Of the content or of the system?
Of how to use Google Slides.
Okay.
The ones that really knew Google Slides knew where to get the pictures and import those pictures. And, pretty in depth.
Yeah.
And then the ones that really didn't know anything really were so low that they didn't know anything.
How do you get those kids higher?
I think I need to, instead of, now that I know who, I have a better idea of who, I won't break them up in terms of tables. I'll break them up in terms of this student knows a lot, this one doesn't, I'm pairing them.
Okay.
This one knows a lot, this one doesn't, I'm pairing
Got
them.
it. It's a little bit of selective grouping.
Rather than just being so convenient with, all right, this table here, this table there.
Okay.
And I guess it does somewhat coincide with what they know in terms of content. The ones that are kind of higher in the content were kind of higher in the Google Slides, so I'm probably going to start to rearrange my seating chart as well.
Yeah. All right, so what's something that you're going to focus on and make sure that you keep in the forefront of your mind whenever you rearrange your seating?
Well, my thing's going to be the content knowledge, really, because I feel like my classroom management's decent enough that it doesn't matter who I sit next to each other. I can keep that taken care of. So I'm focused more on, can I bring up the ones that are lower in content up to the ones that are,
Now, you know this at the end of the unit, right? Where they are in content. But next unit, body systems.
Well, it might be a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess then maybe I'll do the seating chart a little bit earlier in each unit.
Maybe.
That's one way to look at it.
All right. All right, how are you going to incorporate this process into your own thinking whenever your next group's coming up?
The next class period?
Sure.
If I had enough time, I'd get those examples together.
Okay.
But
I think you'll have enough time.
I think that's what I'll do. Get the 1 or 2 slides together just to show them what I'm expecting.
Right. A little bit more
Incorporate
structure.
A little bit more. Well, the auditory and visual for both.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Get your whole face.